Hello, and welcome to our podcast, An Unconventional Teacher. I'm your host, John Hinthorn. This podcast explores the unconventional methods that make our classrooms and teachers great. We hope to uncover why it is that the unconventional ways of yesterday are now becoming the conventional ways of today. Now let's begin. Okay, welcome to our episode with the amazing Jennifer Stillittano. I say amazing, and it is absolutely not a hyperbolic statement. I joined the crew, the family, the faculty at the school that I'm currently at. It's called the Central Coast New Tech High School. If you know the New Tech family of schools, the organization of schools, you know that we try to do things differently. We do PBL, project-based learning, and we're super big into getting authentic audiences for our projects. And our guest today does all of those things at the highest of levels. So Jen, welcome to our show. I'm gonna have you do a quick introduction because you can do better than me. And we'll go to our 3 questions. We're so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome.
Yay, well, awesome. I'm so glad I'm here too. And I'm really, truly honored to get to be part of this awesome journey with you that you embark on, hearing all these cool stories and just figuring out what it means to be unconventional. So yeah, everyone, my name is Jennifer Stillittano, and proud founding teacher of our amazing little school, Central Coast New Tech. This is my 16th year in education, teaching, started with history and some of the other social sciences, but now I'm getting to teach actually 2 really unconventional classes, a research and communications class to all of our freshmen and an entrepreneurial mindsets class to our upperclassmen. And those courses have constantly pushed me to be unconventional and just think outside of the box and grow and learn myself. Total PBL geek, so I'm sure I'm going to weave that in somehow. But yeah, I just love learning and super excited for you and this podcast, actually.
Thank you. Yeah. And you've been one of our biggest fans, a little behind the scenes. You're on there, you're liking our posts, you're sort of helping us get started here. So thank you for that. We'll jump right in. What inspires you to teach every day?
Yeah, I love this question. Really, my why for teaching is actually the same for my personal life, my friends and family, why I interact with our staff. But it's really just, what wakes me up every day is getting to just inspire everyone else to find something that they're passionate about. And I love pushing people to just keep learning and growing and honestly just be the best that they can. And that's what gives me the kicks, and that's what inspires me. And seeing students have those aha moments of like, okay, I do care about some stuff, and this is how I want to, almost basically like helping people find their why is why I teach. And just helping people facilitate their growth and learning. That's why I do what I do.
That's great. So to help other people find their why, and I don't know if there's a better group of humans than high schoolers. And just so everyone knows, Jen and I, we work with freshmen primarily, right? We have other students in our caseload, but the majority of our students are freshmen, and that pivotal turn point year, that turning from a middle schooler to a high schooler is the challenge before both of us. And we meet every week to discuss how it works or how it's not working. But I would say absolutely you are helping our students, and I can say our students, this is a fun interview, find their why. Our next question is, what makes you an unconventional teacher?
Yeah, this is fun. I think you talked about this in one of your previous episodes, but it seems to me the things that once made me really unconventional, almost 10 years ago, seem to be, I guess, becoming more conventional. But it's really exciting that more teachers are starting to see project-based learning as just this amazing strategy. This is amazing instructional strategy. It's like a frame that they can just put over their content, and it really markets it to the kids in a way that they want to learn whatever it is you're packaging for them. That really fun, engaging, driving question. And it was quite serendipitous that we're talking this week because our freshmen are actually answering the driving question, what is my dream career and lifestyle and how do I get it? So kind of touching back with that why, but they've been challenged this week to really figure out and actually articulate what am I passionate about? Where do I see my life? And I think that's one of the things that I'd like to think makes me unconventional is always asking why and pushing back. Even if I might at first agree with something, but still questioning. I think always asking why. There's a really cool protocol out there that has you ask yourself why 5 times, you keep questioning why.
Interesting. 5 times.
5 times. And it's a really cool way to solve problems, make decisions, or just think outside of the box and innovate. So I guess that's one. I think I love helping my students to imagine and dream of possibilities. We actually spend time in class daydreaming and visualizing things that we want for ourselves. I really believe that if you don't have a clear vision on what you want, who you want to be, the things you want in your life, your life is just going to happen to you instead of you directing your own path.
Wow.
I think also seeking feedback. That's something that I don't really remember learning that in my education program. And I don't remember any of my teachers that when I was a student, going to high school. I don't remember any teachers giving me a survey on how they were doing as a teacher. And
I certainly didn't.
Yeah.
I had nobody say, hey, John, what do you think about this class right now? Is it going well for you? Yeah, I don't think I ever had that happen. And if you're one of my previous teachers listening, I apologize if you did that. Can you write us an email and come on our show and prove us wrong? But I don't think I had that either.
Yeah. And so I've dedicated my practice to constantly seeking feedback from kids. I feel like there are clients, right? If you look at it, think of it kind of in the business world.
Right.
And the world's best businesses are constantly seeking customer feedback, right? And they're using design thinking to iterate and how do we constantly change and develop empathy for our customers, right? And so in our case, our students, that takes asking them regularly, what do you think of the project? How are you feeling as a person in my class? Am I making you feel respected and comfortable? And that's really something that has been a game changer, I think, for my practice and just and my growth. So yeah, that seeking feedback. Also with staff, I think that's something that's really unique about our school. I was never used to sharing my project plans with staff before, rolling them out to students. Right. And so that constant seeking feedback and, using critical friends protocol, which is super simple. It's what do you like? What do you wonder? What are some next steps? And that simple structure has, I think, pushed my work to be better, make it better than it would be just if I was thinking about it in my own brain.
And just to back out for 1 second so our listeners understand what else you do besides being a classroom teacher. So Jen is in charge of, along with another teacher, our adult learning on campus, right? So that's called different things on different campuses, PLCs or, professional learning communities is what that means. And it's called something different, but we call it adult learning, and you drive that ship. So these are things that you're thinking about. And I know from my perspective as a sort of lay teacher, right? The average teacher on the block, we're so grateful for these deeper questions than these protocols that you're referencing. And we talked about this before the interview. Hopefully you'll be able to link some of these protocols and we'll put them on our blog and on our website and on the episode notes. so that everyone can find them, because they work and they give a sense of structure for our students and for our adults when we're doing the learning.
Yeah,
so thank you so much. Yeah,
definitely. And I think that's a kind of another interesting point, is we think that we have to do things totally different for our adult learners. And granted, I mean, adults do learn differently. I mean, we bring a whole array of baggage and such to our learning. But at the heart of it, I really believe in using self-reflection and protocols as a means to develop, whether it's professionally, or with our students in the learning.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. And our last question, and I know you can talk about question number 2 for a long time. You're being humble and not. So maybe you can write a blog post and continue on for our website. That would be awesome. I know you're asked by many, many different circles to contribute, as you're one of the leaders in our PBL world, so to speak. And you have PBL Lab, which is your website and kind of your baby, so to speak, on your side project. And it's really not a side project, right? Because it informs your teaching. So we'll put a link to that as well. We're going to move to a story. I want to end each of our interviews with a story. So what's one story in your teaching that illustrates how important it is to take risks, try new things, and think outside the box, right? That terribly overused phrase, outside the box. And we can think about it unconventionally. So give us a story, Jen.
Yeah, I love this question. And actually, it's hard to think of just one story, but
Right.
the sake of time, I think that the story of Dire Lights. And so you guys are thinking, oh, what's Dire Lights? So 4 years ago, I don't even remember exactly how specifically it happened, but ever since we started the school and I started geeking out on PBL, I discovered that there are a lot of similarities with like project-based learning, starting a new school, that we see in startup culture and business world. And I was like, you know what, like entrepreneurship, like it's one of the only things that you can do in our area and actually stay here, okay, on the Central Coast, right? And, starting your own business, that might get you to find a job.
That's right.
Yeah. And I was so interested and fascinated by this entrepreneurial mindset. And this mindset is all the things that we believe in and have as school-wide learning outcomes at our school, like things like agency, like developing a growth mindset and owning your own learning. Obviously the knowledge and thinking, collaboration, communication. And I was like, I want to help our students do this. And, we have amazing like makerspace. Well, back before COVID, we had an amazing makerspace. We have a great physics program and other really just creative courses, even in our core subjects, they're doing such amazing projects. And anyways, long story short, I developed this course and just was blessed to be able to be given this elective and the space to deliver this course and facilitate it. And it really challenged me to take everything that I've learned about PBL and was doing, like in my history and research and communications class, and really put it to the test. Right. Because if you look at PBL, there's like a spectrum of authenticity. And so, you can do a really cool, like simulated authentic project, and it'll engage students, it'll get at deeper learning, it'll hit all these cool things, but it's still like a simulated authenticity. And with the entrepreneurship class, I got hooked up with an amazing company called Real World Scholars. And they basically gave me the logistics, gave me the means to be able to facilitate a student-run business. And
they gave you money. They granted you money.
They gave us money. They still give us money.
Wow.
They give us a website. And what the cool thing is being in a public school district, like you can't do this stuff without running through ASB or like the district. Right. It's really messy. So it allowed me to like bypass all of that and, minimize the headache, because I don't think I would have really ever embarked upon it if I had to do all of like the district work. So this company is absolutely amazing. And that first year, it didn't get more authentic and real world, like rigor, real work for the students than me hopping in class that first day and saying, guess what? We're starting a business. It's going to be, Central Coast New Tech's first ever student run business. What do you guys think? And it was a true example of like, all right, what do we know? What do we need to know in order to do this? And it was hard for me because it was a risk and it pushed me outside of my comfort zone. I'm a planner and I love like getting my calendar all done and like knowing what I'm going to do for the next few weeks. And I can't do that with this class.
Right.
Because it is a real business. And, I don't know what each day that we meet is going to bring. For example, we have the real world challenge right now of, having to pivot the whole company to be able to process and take online sales because of COVID and the school closure. So we've been working on that. It's been so cool. I honestly have to remind myself, like every time I go into that class, like, okay, have a growth mindset, let the kids talk, don't take control, like don't take over, just like use the protocols, use what I know, to help them figure out their own next steps. And they've just continually been blowing me away with the different things that they've been doing and coming up with. And they love it. They're actually like finding a lot of personal relevance in things. But man, that was such a test. Something that was really scary for my personality to do. And I'm excited to see where it goes to in the future.
Well, props to you, right? I mean, can our teachers that are listening, can you imagine going into a class? And of course, we've done this because we couldn't plan, or we didn't have time, or something changes, right? We go in and the plan changes, or we didn't, again, have time to plan. But you have a class where you have a real life business, and you're going in and you're maybe troubleshooting or planning for or figuring out orders. And supporting your students in that. I know, my wife and I bought a candle. It sits on our bedstand, and it's just awesome. Like the product is really great, and I'm gonna plug it because maybe you're not going to. But Dire Lights has their website. We'll put the links on the show notes and on our website. And go in and buy 1,000 candles. I don't know what will happen, but go and support our students. And this is a pay it forward project. So, we're not taking any money except for to cover costs and to give to charities in this podcast. So anybody that plugs any projects, we just want you to go out there and support them. Well, thank you so much. What a gift to have you on. We have a short podcast. These are short episodes with little snippets, and you are a wealth of information, a wealth of experience. So check out the episode notes, check out the links, and maybe we'll get you to write a blog post for our website at unconventionalteacher.com. Little plug for that website. We're working hard to make sure that website is usable. We'll have materials up there and resources, and we really want to make sure that teachers are feeling supported to take risks. Are there any parting words for our listeners here, Jen, before we take off?
I just thank you. It's so fun for me. It's always a good opportunity, especially as we're closing the semester and with such a hard semester, it's been not seeing each other.
Right.
I just thank you for the opportunity to reflect. And I just hope this podcast spreads like wildfire. And I can't wait to hear future episodes and learn from the other amazing people that you get to talk to and hear their stories.
You got it. Well, the pleasure's all ours, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming on. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of An Unconventional Teacher. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed producing it. This is a project to pay it forward to the teachers and educators out there seeking something different. If you are or have someone in your world that is an unconventional teacher, please send their name to anunconventionalteacher@gmail.com, and we can work to get them on this show. Also, please join us on Instagram and Twitter at An Unconventional Teacher and be a part of our growing movement to embrace the different. As I tell each and every one of my classes I teach at the end of our time together, vive como si fuera su último día. Live like it were your last day. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.